All right, you're on the John Fredericks Radio Network. Joining us now, House of Delegates candidate Paul Milde. He's running for the seat of this is a Republican seat, Bob Thomas in Fredericksburg. Milde defeating Thomas in a primary. Democrats think they're going to pick the seat up, but his opponent, a radical left-winger, we're going to talk about him a little bit, get Paul's take on that. But Milde, not one to be underestimated. He's come back. We're seeing numbers that his race is tied, and he won the primary by saying, I'm more Trump than Trump, but he's going counter-trend because suburbs in Central Virginia are flipping anti-Trump right now, which is hurting a bunch of candidates. So he's joining us now. Hey, Paul, great to have you with us. I'm live in Washington, D.C. with Martha Bonetta.
Hey, good morning, John. Thanks for having me.
Paul, tell me, just sum up your race here. And the first thing I'm going to ask is, I know you're working hard. Every time I call you up, you're out knocking on doors or you're out at the street corner waving. You're not to be underestimated, no question about it. Tell me a little bit about what the Trump effect is, how you're experiencing that in Fredericksburg. What is happening?
I don't know how I can be sure how much the Trump effect is affecting us. Trump won this district just when he ran, so it was a Trump district, but barely. But then Rob Whitman lost it last year, and Rob is, very kind of popular around here and attends almost every event he's invited to, it seems like. It's a mixed bag. I go to the doors, and some people just say they can never vote Republican again. They used to be Reagan Republicans, but they're never going to vote Republican because of Trump. And then a lot of people still like Trump and want to make sure that I'm with Trump. I just quickly remind them that a House of Delegates seat doesn't really have a whole lot to do with who's in the White House.
Right.
And we talk about roads, and we talk about education, we talk about other things that are more to the quality of life issues that I think are important.
Paul, when you're knocking on doors, and I know that's the core of your campaign is voter outreach. That's how you got elected supervisor. That's how you beat Bob Thomas. When you're knocking on doors and you go into people's living rooms or kitchens or front porch, what are they saying right off the bat? Tell me.
Oh, well, transportation's the number one problem here. So if I had to pick a thing or things, it would definitely be transportation 2-1 over any other issue. And then education comes up second on the list. People are mad that they hate sitting in traffic, commuting to work. They hate paying $20 each way for a hot lanes trip. That's the kind of stuff I hear about. My opponent has been he mails out a lot of mail, something probably every day or every other day in your mailbox, and he's just hammering on on a couple big issues: healthcare, abortion. So that's what they're hearing from the other side so far. And I'm not sure if that'll change in the last five days.
Okay, so tell me some of the attacks that you're getting, some of the outside money
against me. Oh gosh, I've got half of his money, and I can't wait to see the next report. Half of his money is coming from New York, California, Washington State, and Oregon. They're not even shy about mailing postcards right from Oregon. One of the big postcard push mailings just has the postmark from Portland on it.
Unbelievable.
So it's unbelievable. And letters signed from people in California and New York pouring into my campaign. I've got the Bloomberg money, the Steyer money, the Soros money. It's all there. He did a TV network buy for the last 13 days of the campaign of $337,000. Now that's all the Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 8, Channel 9, all emanating out of D.C. People from the northern neck to Winchester are seeing the commercials, and he's spent that kind of money, because he has it, from outside groups, just to try to capture that sliver of the 28th House district. So he doesn't know what to do with all the money he has.
Well, advertising on TV there, I mean, when you look, you're going to get outspent 2-1, but you knew that, Paul, going in. Tell me about your opponent, Joshua Cole. Tell me about some of his positions. You were on last time, and you said that he's got a radical agenda, Joshua Cole. What is it? Define that.
Okay, well, it's just like you would see if you were watching the folks trying to get the nomination for the president on the Democrat side. He's sanctuary for illegal aliens. He wants the only ICE he wants is inclusion, compassion, and equality. That's a quote. Of course, he's for the Kathy Tran bill. We nailed him on that in the last debate. He wouldn't step away from his support for the Tran bill, abortions in the 9th month. He literally campaigns with Beto and supports very strict gun control laws. He wants Medicare for all, or expanded health care for everyone. He wants reparations for slavery, and went as far as to say that DNA testing would be the best way to figure out how to administer that and figure out who gets it. He, of course, is for both New Green Deals, the RGGI for the state, and the New Green Deal. He's endorsed AOC's New Green Deal, and he has even come out, taken his time to go to a school board meeting to support the transgender policy that our school board narrowly passed on a 4-3 vote that will result in having to tear urinals out of the little boys' room. So that's just the top of the list. I could keep going, I guess, but those are my main hits.
Look, Paul, let's just bottom line this thing. If you lose this seat, the Republicans are not going to maintain control of the House of the House of Delegates, because there's about 3 seats now they're going to lose. You would be number 4. Hugo is at major risk. That's 5. Chris Jones I've already predicted is going to lose. I mean, it could be a debacle on Tuesday for Republicans. And I've been ringing this bell, Paul, for months and saying, look, if you don't get up off your butt and get out there and work and knock on doors and stop worrying about, censoring the Denver Riggleman or whatever the hell you're doing, the Democrats are going to take over, and it's going to be a generational shift because Republicans can't win are not going to be able to raise any money, and they have a radical agenda. I mean, it's like the crazies are at the gate, Paul, banging on the door. How do you win this race, Paul Milde?
Well, like I said, Trump just won this district, and we have a ground game that is second to none. We've had a great team of 5 men and a few women, young ladies, that have been knocking on doors for several months, and if you count the primary. We've made we make personal contact with the voters more so than anyone else. We've been to our doors. We've hit something like 40 or 50,000 doors. That's the same door several times, of course. So talking to people, talking about the issues, really matters. You're right. That is how we won our primary, and we are in a district that is heavily law enforcement, heavily military, and we think that our message is a better message, and we just have to get people to understand how important this race is. And we feel great at the doors when we talk to people. It's just we get our share of people that aren't interested, but or maybe think that a Democrat's a better idea for some reason. But that's certainly the minority view in the universe that we are knocking. And I have to believe that this is a toss-up and that we can win it. Just people understanding how important this is for Virginia, understanding the redistricting is coming. Like you said, the raising money is a great point. This is going to change everything. People don't, maybe they didn't realize, and I tell them every day that right now you have a split government in Virginia, and that's the only thing that's been stopping the Republicans are the only group that's been stopping the Democrats from turning this into a Maryland or a New York style state government.
John Fredericks Radio Network, Trucking the Truth Across America, live in Washington, D.C. In Steve Bannon's War Room down in the basement. We're with Paul Milde, Republican candidate, 28th District, Virginia, Fredericksburg seat. Bob Thomas beat him in a primary up against the very radical whack job Joshua Cole. What does he do? Does he have any experience at all, Paul? We're careful when we talk about this, but I'm not going to be too careful right now. He has no experience. He got nailed for talking about getting his master's degree without even getting a bachelor's degree first. So he implied that he had a bachelor's degree. He's never kept a job for more than a few months, and he will tell you that being an associate minister to a small church is his qualification. He calls himself a millennial proudly and says because of that's what's typical for a millennial is to have many jobs. So he doesn't have much of a life experience to brag about. He lives in a townhouse that is owned by his mom, and as far as we can tell, has never really done much as far as
life experience.
It seems like a really nice young man, and seems like he has a good family. Good for him. I'm all for pastoring, yay. So I'm for that. But look, the bottom line is this guy's got a left-wing radical crackpot agenda, just like all the Democrats. So this is the thing, Paul. This is not the Democratic Party of your father in Virginia. This is not like the Democrats in the state Senate, where you got Saslaw, Surville, Chap Peterson, Howell, Marston. You got reasonable people. These people are downright represent the AOC radical wing, the Omar wing of the party, and they're about to crash the gates. How does Paul Milde win this race?
By sending that exact message to the voters. I don't think my district is ready for that kind of radical socialism, and that is exactly what he that's what he's selling. He believes in socialism. He believes the government is the answer to all of our problems, and he's not shy about saying so. That's the advantage we have, is we just have to get that message out.
Listen, George Soros has targeted Virginia. He is pumping so much money into the Commonwealth of Virginia. I believe he's put in $1 million within the last several weeks. Is that correct, Paul?
I haven't been paying attention to how much he's put into the other races, but there's certainly millions flowing in, yes. And my opponent, I think my opponent has more money than he can spend. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Effectively, that is.
Well, look, we got to get our base out. This is the bottom line. Trump supporters have got to get out. They've got to get off their butt. They've also got to work, right? We've got 5 days here, 6 days to get something done. Look, all you need to do is get involved. This thing is hanging by a thread. Republicans can still win, but you got to get off your duff. Let me tell you the easiest thing to do. You can go to work right now, right? I mean, this is going to shock you. You can go to work right now for any of these candidates and get paid $15 an hour. We're paying you guys for this. Just go to AmericanMajorityAction.org, Virginia, AmericanMajorityAction.org/Virginia, or text me now, and I'll get you hooked up. You can go to Fredericksburg. You can help Paul. You get paid by AmericanMajority.org, Action.org, Virginia, because that's what the Democrats do, so that's what we're doing. But you got to get off your butt. You got to do something. We've got 6 days, Paul. You got to win this race, man.
We're going to give it everything we have, John. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Hang in there. Keep knocking on doors, Paul Milde. If you win, it's because you talk to more voters and outwork Joshua Cole. You got to get out there, Paul. You got 5 days. Make it happen. John Fredericks Radio Network. We'll be right back.